we're doing a no-fluff, source-based review of Northwest Registered Agent. If you're an entrepreneur trying to figure out which LLC formation service is legit, you are in the right place. We're going to break down exactly what they offer, what it costs, and what real users think. Okay, let's start with this, because this quote from Reddit really hits the nail on the head. When you form a business, your address often becomes public record. And for a lot of people, especially if you're working from home, that's a huge problem. This need for privacy is exactly why services like Northwest even exist. So who is Northwest Registered Agent? Well, they've been around since 1998. They're based out of Spokane, Washington. But here's the key thing. They're not just some website. They operate their own physical offices with their own employees in all 50 states. That in-house approach is like their whole philosophy. And that brings us to their biggest selling point, privacy by default. This is so important. With a lot of other companies, privacy is an extra feature you have to pay for. With Northwest, it's the standard. They use their business address on your public paperwork from day one. And our sources are super clear on this. They do not sell your data and they don't outsource anything. It all stays under their roof, which is a massive deal. Okay, let's talk about the money. What does this actually cost and what do you get for it? This is where a lot of services try to confuse you with complicated pricing tiers and hidden upsells. But Northwest, well, they do things a little differently. $39, plus whatever your state charges for the filing fee. That's it. It's just one flat rate package to form your LLC. You're not going to find any confusing gold, silver, or platinum plans designed to trick you into spending more. The price is upfront and honest, which is something the reviews mention again and again. So what do you actually get for that $39? A lot, actually. You get the LLC filing, of course. You also get a full free year of their registered agent service, which on its own is a $125 value. Address privacy is baked in, and you get an operating agreement template. But get this, according to Venture Smarter, they also recently added a whole business identity suite. We're talking a domain name, a website, email, and a business phone number for free. That is a ton of value packed into that initial price. Now, they do have other services you can buy. You can get an EIN, have them file your annual report, or even set up a virtual office. But the key here is that it's all a la carte. You only add what you actually need, so you're not paying for a bloated package full of stuff you'll never use. And when you put that simple pricing up against the competition, it starts to look really good. You'll see Zen Business and LegalZoom shouting about a $0 starting price. But here's the catch. That free plan almost never includes the registered agent service, which you are legally required to have. And that's going to cost you an extra $200, maybe $250. So suddenly, Northwest's all-in $39 package looks like a much better deal. So the price and the features, they look pretty solid on paper. But what's it actually like to use Northwest? You know, what's the real-world experience? Let's get into what the user reviews have to say. The first thing people praise is just how simple the sign-up is. You can create a free account just to poke around, no credit card required, which is a nice touch. And from there, the entire filing process is super streamlined. The sources say it takes about 9 or 10 minutes to get through the whole thing. It's fast, it's easy, and there are no annoying pop-ups trying to upsell you at every click. Okay, but if there is one thing that gets mentioned in the reviews more than anything else, it's their customer support. They don't use some outsourced call center on the other side of the world. No, you get direct access to their in-house experts who they call corporate guides. These are actual people who know what they're talking about. When you call, you get someone who can give you a real answer, not just read off a script. And you can really see that positive feeling in their ratings. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. We're talking 4.6 out of 5 on Google, 4.3 on the Better Business Bureau, a solid 4.0 on Yelp. Look, no company is perfect, but when you see that kind of consistency across the board, it tells you they're doing something right. All right, so no review is worth its salt without looking at both sides of the coin. So let's break down the good and the bad based on everything we found in the source material. So on the pro side, it really all comes back to those same core ideas. People choose Northwest for that top-notch privacy protection. They choose it for the amazing customer support from the corporate guides, and they love the transparent, no upsell pricing. The easy-to-use website and the fact that your data is safe are just the cherries on top. But on the flip side, there are some drawbacks to consider. First, there's no $0 plan like some competitors offer. That EIN application service costs $50 for something you can technically do yourself for free with the IRS. Their support team isn't available 24/7, there's no mobile app, and some users have run into hiccups trying to get their Google My Business page verified or have had so-so experiences with the add-on phone service. So, we've weighed the evidence, we've looked at the pros and cons. What's the final verdict? Is Northwest Registered Agent the right choice for your new business? It really boils down to what you care about most. If your number one goal is finding the absolute rock-bottom cheapest price, then yeah, one of those $0 plans might catch your eye. But if you're the kind of entrepreneur who really values privacy, who wants to be able to call and talk to a real expert, and who prefers a simple, all-in-one package with no surprises, then Northwest was basically built for you. At the end of the day, Northwest is a premium, reliable service. You're not just paying for someone to file a piece of paper. You're really investing in a long-term partner that's going to protect your privacy and give you professional-grade support. It's all about peace of mind, knowing that the boring, foundational stuff for your business is handled correctly and that your personal info is safe. And that kind of leaves us with one final thing to think about. In a world where our data is being bought and sold every single day, how much is it really worth to keep your home address off of public records? For a lot of business owners, that privacy isn't just a nice little perk. It's everything.